Hello. Hello. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Get yourself set up. Get a glass of water or a beverage. Props. So for beginners classes, it is good to have some props. So you can have blocks or anything that resembles blocks. Books, tissue boxes. You can use towels. So I would recommend grabbing 1 or 2 large bath towels. And then you can grab a strap, belt, or anything that resembles a belt, like so. And we'll get started in about 2 minutes. Just get settled in your space. All right, well, Tuesday. I am kind of losing track of the days, but I'm still working, which is funny. So I shouldn't be losing track of the days. Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are having a good week. This is going to be a beginner's yoga flow. I'm going to make this, a beginner's class, but there is going to be some movement and some stability and strength building. So I'm going to be really focusing on stability and mobility and about controlling movement, because part of yoga practice is, not doing the most beautiful pose in the world, but how you get into that pose and how you do it safely. A lot of yoga injuries do not come from the pose itself. It comes from the transitions and getting into and out of the pose. And that can be the biggest challenge, is safely getting into and out of a pose, using your muscles appropriately and with control. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on today. My cat is being crazy. So let's get started, and let's go ahead and lie down. So just go ahead and lie down on your backs. Find a comfortable position. And as you're lying down, getting comfortable, just find stillness in your body. Just breathing normally through your nose. Allowing your breath to come in and out without forcing it or straining it. And slowly just start to deepen your breathing. And on each inhale, just start to get a little bit deeper. Thinking about filling your entire body with air, but not to the point where it's too stressful. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And breathe out. Take a deep and breathe out. And breathe all the air out completely. And then breathe in through your nose for count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Unless you're pregnant or think you are, don't hold it. And breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it. Good. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Good. And then go ahead and straighten your legs and get your toes to point up towards the ceiling and make your feet so they're hip bone distance apart. And then bring your arms down by your sides, palms pointing in towards each other. So it's kind of like you're standing up, but you're lying down on the ground. And then your next inhale, draw your left knee in toward your chest, hold onto your shin or behind your knee. Keep pressing down into your sacrum and your hips evenly. Good. And then we're going to come into a twist. So bring your left arm onto a T shape. You're going to drop your left knee over to the right side. Your hand can just rest on your knee. If this is too stressful, this is where your props can come in. So you can place your blocks underneath of your left knee, or you just don't have to come down that far if this is too much on your back. Good for back conditions or issues, so just be aware of that. And then inhale, come to the center, draw your left knee in. And exhale, extend your left leg down. Flex your left foot, draw your right knee in towards your chest, holding onto your shin or behind your knee. Good. And then exhale, come into a twist on this side. So right knee goes to the left side, right arm comes out into a T shape. And again, you can place a block or two blocks underneath of your right knee for support. And just keep looking up towards the ceiling. And think about your right shoulder drawing towards the floor. And then inhale, come to the center, draw your right knee into your chest. Draw your left knee in toward your chest. Good. And then grab on behind your knees. Rock yourself forwards and backwards 3 times. Rock yourself up to sitting. And then come into tabletop on your hands and knees. So come into a tabletop position. Knees are hip bone distance apart. The tops of your feet and your shins are pressing down into the floor. And then your wrist, elbow, shoulders are in one line. And you want to spread your fingers. Just turn your hands ever so slightly out. And then bend your elbows just like a centimeter. So you're not really bending them. You're just bending them a little bit so you're not locking your elbows. And then from here, think about drawing your hip bones up towards your rib cage. So your hip, instead of arching into your lower back, you want to draw your hip bones towards your rib cage so that way your lower back lengthens. And just look straight down. Don't look up at me and don't look at your knees. Good. Think about lifting up away from the floor so you're not sinking down into your shoulders. And then inhale, lift your left arm up to shoulder height, palm facing in. Try to keep everything where it is. Just your arm is lifting. Keep breathing. Reach your left fingertips forward. Exhale, place your left hand down. Inhale, lift your right arm up to shoulder height, palm facing in. Exhale, come down. Inhale, drop your chest, lengthen your rib cage forward, look up for cow pose. And then take your entire exhale to round your spine, press the floor away with your hands, and look toward your belly button for cat pose. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, look up. So tailbone lengthens back, then lifts up. And take your entire exhale to round. Tailbone starts to lengthen down, then tucks under. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, look up. Try to go slow. Go slower. And take your entire exhale to round. Again, going slowly. Good. Inhale, come to a tabletop position. Step your right foot back. So you're on the ball of your right foot. And press your right thigh up. So think about pressing your front thigh, your quad, into your back thigh, your hamstring. Good. Press your right heel back. And then inhale, lift your right leg up a few inches off the floor. You can go up to hip height. And make sure your toes are staying pointing down. So when you engage your glutes, a lot of times your toes like to point out. So think about your inner thigh rotating up. so you can get your toes to point down. Keep breathing. Keep lifting away from the floor with your arms. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. Inhale, step your left foot back, swing the ball of your left foot. Same thing, press your thigh up, lift up away from the floor, so don't sink down. Keep lifting up, draw your shoulder blades towards one another. And then inhale, lift your left leg up a few inches. Keep your toesies pointing down. Good, keep pressing your left heel back. Keep your left hip in line with your right hip. Keep breathing. Good, and then exhale, come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes under here. Make sure your knees are still hip bone distance apart. Keep lifting away from the floor. On your next inhale, lift your knees up an inch off the floor. Good, keep lifting up. Exhale, place your knees down. Inhale, lift your knees up an inch. And exhale, come down. Good. Inhale, step your right foot back. And then step your left foot back. Come into a plank position. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Bend your knees slightly, and then your exhale, lift your hips up and back, coming into our first downward facing dog. So in your first down dog, I want you to bend your knees a lot and lift your heels up off the floor. That will allow you the space to really lift your tailbone up. So press your hands down to the floor, lift away from the floor in your arms, all the way up through your tailbone. And then from here, feel the energy going down your legs into your heels. Good, keep breathing. And on your next inhale, shift your weight forward, come to plank. You can always put your knees down. Okay, so this is always an option for you. And exhale, downward facing dog. Keep your knees bent. Inhale, come forward to plank. Option to put your knees down. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. On your next inhale, slowly walk your hands back to your feet. So walk your hands back to your feet. Feet are still hip bone distance apart. Still slight bend in your knee. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Place your hands on your shins or your upper thighs. Keep drawing your upper arms in. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen again. Keep lengthening your ribcage forward. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head, reaching your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And think about lengthening your tailbone towards the floor, pressing down to all four corners of your feet. Lift up from the sides of your waist. So instead of lifting up from your arms, lift up from the sides. Slight bend in your knees. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, put your hands down on the floor. Walk your hands out to downward facing dog. Again, keeping your knees bent, heels lifted for now. And then inhale, shift your weight forward, come to plank. Exhale, place your knees down right where they are on the floor. So your knees should be behind your hips, not under them, okay? And then lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. So instead of your tailbone lifting up, you're lengthening it towards your heels back there. And then draw your upper arms under, shift your weight forward. Keep your arms hugging in as you lower all the way down to the floor. Perfect. Okay, untuck your toes. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Press down to the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift your chest up to baby cobra. So you're lifting and lengthening at the same time. Keep drawing your upper arms in. And exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Again, lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. Exhale, release, come down. One more time. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. This time, think about your shoulder blades. Draw your shoulder blades together and then just relax them down. Not forcing them, but just relax them down. And exhale, release, come down. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. And then tuck your toes under and exhale, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, look to your hands. Slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. And then once you get up there, make sure your feet are hip bone distance apart. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, reaching your fingertips up. Exhale, hands up by your sides. Good. If you have a block or something that resembles a block, I want you to grab it. If you don't have it, it's fine, don't need it. And I want you to take the block and place it between your upper thighs like so. All right, and then stand with your feet hip bone distance apart. And when I say press down to all four corners of your feet, you're pressing down into your big toe mound, your small toe mound, and the two corners of your heels. Okay, so you want to feel the evenness of your foot pressing down into the floor. But at the same time, you're lifting up and away from the floor. Okay, bring your arms down by your sides. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about pressing your thighs into your block. And if you don't have a block, pretend like that block is there and you're pressing your thighs into the imaginary block. Okay, arms are down by your sides, and I want you to rotate your shoulders. So you're rotating your shoulders back, then flip your palms forward. So the rotation comes from your shoulders and your arms. Good. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. And then your next inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Pause here. So think about a block being between your hands as well, and you're pressing your hands into that block. And make sure that your arms are straight. So you're drawing your upper arms under, arms are straight. Keep a slight bend in your knees, and don't drop the block between your thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, place your hands on the floor. Okay, here's the challenge. Walk, shimmy, whatever you need to do to get back to plank, but don't drop your block. And if you have no block between your thighs, pretend like it's there. Good. Stay in plank. If you need to put your knees down, you can. Just keep your block where it is. Press your thighs into your block and think about rotating the block up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, come forward to plank again. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, come forward to plank. Place your knees down right where they are. Keep the block there. You might need to relax it for a second because you're about to go to the floor. Draw your upper arms under, lower down to the floor. Just allow your block to move if it needs to. Good. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down. Now continue to press your thighs into your block. And if you don't have a block, again, just pretend like the block is there and you're pressing your thighs into the block and you're trying to push the block up. So that's the action you're doing with your thighs in this pose. Press down into all 10 toes. On your next inhale, lift your chest up, baby cobra. Exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Keep pressing your thighs in. Press down into your baby toe as much as you are your big toe. And then exhale, release, come down. One more time. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. And exhale, release, come down. All right, you can reach back or do whatever you need to do to take that block out from between your thighs and come back to your lying on your belly. And then inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, look to your hands, walk to the top of your mat. Try to go slow. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Keep a slight bend in your knees as you reach your fingertips up. Exhale, sit down to chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, so it's kind of like you're standing up, but all you're doing is sitting back, like you're about to sit in a chair. And pretend like that block is still between your thighs, and you're pressing your thighs into that block, and you're rotating the block down towards the floor. Now think about lengthening your tailbone towards the floor. Now shift your weight slightly back and press your heels down into the floor. Lift up from the sides of your waist. Keep breathing. Good. Inhale, stand straight up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, place your hands on the floor. Step your left foot back, come into a lunge. So this is where blocks come in handy. Okay, so if you need blocks, you can put your hands on blocks, framing your front foot. Okay, that just allows you a little bit of elevation and space. Otherwise, just keep your fingertips on the floor. Straighten your left leg, so press your left thigh up. Make sure your right knee is in line with your right ankle. Press down into all four corners of your right foot, especially your heel. Press down into your heel. Lengthen your ribcage forward. Good. Place your hands down, step your right foot back, come into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. So on your next inhale, drop your knees to the floor and then step your right foot forward back in between your hands. So you're in like a weird low lunge type of thing. Line your right knee up with your ankle. Tuck your back toes under. Inhale, lift your back leg up so you're back in that lunge. So again, we're going to go up into a high lunge, okay? So this is a transition from a low lunge to a high lunge. So option 1 is to place your hands on blocks so that way it helps lift you up, okay? Otherwise, come up onto your fingertips, look up. Keep your back leg straight, and then place your hands on your hips. Keep firming your outer hips in. Slowly lift your torso. Good. Just keep your hands on your hips for now. And then bend your left knee at your back knee. A couple inches. Lengthen your tailbone down. Sink down a little bit more into your right knee, but don't let it go past your ankle. Keep lifting up from the sides of your waist. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Keep breathing. Good. Your next inhale, straighten both legs. Keep your tailbone lengthening down. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Come back to your lunge. One more time. Inhale, straighten slowly. And exhale, lunge. Good. Inhale. Exhale, place your hands on the frame of your right foot. Step your right foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. On your next inhale, look to your hands. Walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head. Exhale, sit back down to chair pose, Utkatasana. So same thing, pretend like that block is between your thighs. You're pressing into that block, even if it's not there. Lengthen your tailbone down. Straightening your arms. Make sure your arms are straight, drawing under. Not this. Draw everything in. Straight. Scoop your hip bones up toward your bottom ribs. Keep breathing. Sink down a little bit lower. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, place your hands down. Step your left foot back. Come into your low lunge. Again, using blocks if you need them. Your feet should also be in their same lane, okay? And then inhale, come up into your fingertips, look up. Okay, so we're going to do add on here. Okay, so in your next inhale, we're going to go into it the same way we just did. So you're going to place your hands on your hips, elbows point up, slowly lift your torso. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. Good. On your exhale, we're going to come into a twist. So your right arm comes back, left arm reaches forward. Right arm back, left arm forward. Sink down into your right knee, reach your fingertips away from each other. Don't move your hips. So if your hips moved to do the twist, it should all come from the upper body. Good. Keep breathing. Good. Inhale, come to the center, reach your arms up. Exhale, place your hands under frame. Your right foot, step your right foot back. You can drop your knees if you need to or leave them up. Lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your chest up, baby cobra. Exhale, release, come down. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. To your hands, walk or step to the top of your mat. Lift up, halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, we're going to add on here too. This is a really good pose to build a lot of strength. That's why it's one of my favorites. Keep lengthening your tailbone down. Press down into your left foot and lift your right heel up off the floor. Just your right heel. Place your heel down. Put all the weight into your right foot. Lift your left heel up off the floor. Exhale, put that down. Inhale, stand straight up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back. Come into your low lunge. And move your left foot to the left, maybe 1 or 2 times, so both feet are in their own lane. Right thigh pressing up, outer hips firming in. Okay, so you don't want your butt sticking out or your hips sticking out. Firm your hips in. Left knee in line with your ankle. Inhale, come into your fingertips. You can also use blocks. Keep breathing. Good. Exhale, place your hands down. Step your left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And then exhale, drop your knees down. Inhale, step your left foot forward so you're back in that little lunge thing. Left knee over your ankle, toes pointing forward. Tuck your back toes under. Inhale, lift your back leg up so you're in your low lunge. Again, you can use your blocks. They are there to help you. Inhale, come up onto your fingertips, look up. Keep firming your outer hips in. Don't let your hips stick out. Lift up about an inch so you engage and fire up your legs. Bring your hands to your hips. Elbows pointing, inhale, rise up. Nice. Okay, bend your right knee a couple inches. So when you bend your right knee, it just helps you to be able to lengthen your tailbone down. So instead of your tailbone, if your leg is straight, your tailbone goes back. You can bend this a little bit, and then your tailbone can lengthen down, which creates space in your lower back. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Good. Make sure your left knee is not going past your ankle, but sink down a little bit more. Perfect. Exhale, place your hands down to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your hands, walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Are you getting sick of chair pose yet? I hope not, because we're going to do it a couple more times. We're almost done with chair pose, I promise. Okay, lengthen your tailbone down, lift up from the sides of your waist. Press down into all four corners of your feet, but shift your weight back so you're pressing your heels down. Okay, from here, inhale, lift your right heel up off the floor. Maybe lift the ball of your foot up so your right foot is off the floor. Good, exhale, put that down, chair pose. Inhale, lift your left heel up. And then maybe lift the ball of your left foot up. Good, okay, exhale, place your foot down. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back, come into your lunge. All right, here we go. We're going to go a little bit faster, but still with control, okay? Again, blocks are here to help you. Come up onto your fingertips, look up from your outer hips in. Place your hands on your hips, elbows point up. Slowly lift your torso. Reach your arms up. Good, bend your right knee a couple inches. Inhale, straighten both your legs. Tailbone lengthens down. Press down into your big toe mound of your left foot. Good, exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten. And then exhale, lunge. Inhale, and then exhale, open up to your twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Reaching your fingertips away from each other. Sinking down into your left knee. Keep breathing. Press your right thigh up. Good. Inhale, come to the center. Reach your arms up. Breathe in. Exhale, place your hands on to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back. Knees can stay up, but your entire body has to go down with you at one time. Or place your knees down. Draw your upper arms in. Slowly lower all the way down. Okay. From here, if you have a block, grab it. If not, again, pretend like a block is there, okay? And you're going to straighten your arms out in front of you. This is not an easy pose or not an easy exercise to do. Press down into the tops of your feet, okay? So when you press down to the tops of your feet, you should feel your kneecaps lift up. And then you're going to lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your heels. Okay. Arms are out in front of you. Pressing your palms into your block or into your imaginary block, okay? Chin on the mat or forehead on the mat. Okay, on your next inhale, press your palms in and lift your arms up, head up, neck and chest. Up off the floor. And you're not going to come up very high, and that's fine. Don't look up. Look right past the edge of your mat. Keep breathing. Keep pressing your palms into your block. Reach your block forward. Reach your fingertips forward. Press down into your feet. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly come down. You can move your arms wherever you like. Down by your sides. Turn one cheek. You can give your hips a little wiggle. Slowly. And just breathe here. Good. All right. From here, keep your arms down by your sides if they're there. If they're not there, go ahead and bring your arms down by your sides. And have your palms pointing in towards each other. And bring your chin to the mat. Feet are hip bone distance apart. And keep lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. Okay, so that's just so your tailbone's not lifting up and you're crunching in your lower back. So lengthen your tailbone down. And then your next inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest up off the floor. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet, like where your shoelaces are. And then reach your fingertips back. Lift your arms up a couple inches off the floor. Keep breathing. Think about drawing your shoulder blades towards one another. And then keep pressing your feet down. Inhale, lift your feet up an inch or two, maybe. You don't have to. Spread your toes if they are lifted. Again, look right past the edge of your mat. And then exhale, slowly come down. Turn your other cheek to the other side. Great. And then from here, go ahead and bend your elbows. Place your hands by your shoulders, chin to the mat. Inhale, slowly press yourself up to tabletop. And exhale to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Take a few breaths here. You can always go to child's pose if you need a break or a rest. And then your next inhale, look to your hands, walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Okay. If you have a belt or a strap of some sort, go ahead and grab that. If you don't have one, that's fine too. We can work without it as well. Okay, so either you have a belt, a strap, something that resembles either of those things, or you don't. Okay, and that's fine too. I'll show you both ways. Okay. So stand to the top of your mat with your feet hip bone distance apart, pressing down to all four corners of your feet. So again, when you press down, you're still lifting up and away from the floor at the same time. So you're pressing down into your feet, lifting up. Lengthen your tailbone down, lift up from the sides of your waist. Arms can just be down by your sides for now. And then just hold your belt in any hand. And then your next inhale, I want you to press down into your left foot and lift your right knee up off the floor and flex your right foot. And then you're thinking about keeping your left leg straight, but you don't want to lock it out. But you're lifting your kneecap up towards your hip bone. Good. From here, so option one is to take your belt, wrap it around your foot, place it in your right hand, your strap. If that's too wobbly, you can put your foot down and wrap the belt around your foot this way, okay, and then lift it up, okay? That's option two. If you don't have a belt at all, you're going to take your two peace fingers, wrap it around your big right toe, okay? So those are your three options. 1, 2, 3. Keep pressing your left thigh back. And if you have the belt, you can hold on as close to your foot as you want to. It doesn't have to be very far at all. Okay? Or it can be close. It's up to you. But lift up from your torso, and then inhale, reach your left arm up. Okay. And then from here, either with the belt, okay, or with your fingers, you're going to think about straightening your right leg out in front of you. Okay, so with the belt, without the belt. But you don't have to straighten your leg all the way. Okay, you can keep your knee bent, which I would actually recommend you do. But keep lengthening your tailbone down. Keep lifting up from the sides of your waist. Okay, so if you go to straighten and you start to round or bend your knee, then you need to bend your top leg. Okay, so you're lifting up. Keep breathing. Okay, and then from here, go ahead and bend your right knee. Let go of your belt. Bring both arms down to a T shape. Place your foot down. Bring your arms down. Okay, and then you can roll it out, shake it out. How was that? Was that okay? Okay. All right, we have a whole other side to do, but we're I'm going to do something else first, so you can just forget about that for now. Just move your belt and strap out of the way. Come back to the top of your mat into mountain pose. And you're going to inhale, reach your arms up over your head, breathe in. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And then exhale, step your left foot back, come into your lunge. Spin your back heel down to the floor. So your back foot is on the floor. And then you're just going to bring your back toes in slightly. So your back foot is on the floor, but pointing at an angle towards the front corner of your mat. Sink down into your right knee. Firm your outer right hip in. Press your left thigh back so your left leg is straight. On your next inhale, lift your arms up. Coming into warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Good, keep sinking down into your right foot. If you need to bring your back foot in a little bit, you can. You can also move your right foot over. Make your stance a little bit wider if you're feeling any kind of pain, tension, or stress. Lift up from the sides of your waist. Keep your arms straight. Press your left thigh back. Keep breathing. Good, your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Press down into the big toe mound of your left foot, or I'm sorry, your right foot. And exhale, bend. Then inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Good, inhale. Exhale, place your hands on the frame of your right foot. Bring your back foot up so you're in a lunge. Step your right foot back, come to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then from here, lift your right leg up behind you to hip height. So you're lifting your leg up just to hip height. Toes stay pointing down. So don't let your toes point out. Toes stay pointing down. And then exhale, shift your weight forward. Bring your knee into your chest. So lift your knee up higher. Use your core. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, place your foot down. Place your knees down. Step your right foot forward. So you're in that weird little low lunge. Move your right foot to the right 1 or 2 times. Again, right knee lined up with your ankle, tuck your back toes under. Inhale, lift your left thigh up. And then step your left foot to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your arms out to the sides and over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Okay. Maybe grab that belt and strap because we're going to do the other side. So however you did it on the one side, do it the same way on your other side, okay? All right, so come to the top of your mat. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Firming your hips in, lengthening your tailbone down, lifting the sides of your waist up. And think about lifting up from the crown of your head. And your entire spine is long, right? Hands can be just down by your sides for now. Strap, belt, in whatever hand. Press down into your right foot. Keep your right leg straight, but lift your kneecap up towards your hip bone. Keep lengthening your tailbone down. And then inhale, lift your left leg up. So your knee is bent, foot is flexed, parallel to the floor. And don't sink down into your right hip. So really firm your hips in towards each other. Good. And then from here, either looping the belt around your foot, if you feel wobbly, putting your foot down, putting the belt around it that way, or taking your 2 left peace fingers, wrapping around your big toe, but keeping your torso lifted, keeping your right leg straight. So again, either holding it with your belt or strap, keep lifting up. And straightening your leg is totally optional. You don't have to do it. If you go to straighten it and you start to immediately round, just hang out here. If you need a wall for support, you can do that as well. And then from here, very slowly, maybe you're straightening your leg, but not all the way. Okay, so you're keeping a slight bend. Trying to move so you can see my sides. Keep your torso lifted, right leg straight, and again, keeping your knee bent if you need to. Press your heel forward. Again, your strap and belt is there to help you. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Slowly bend your knee. Release that. Drop the strap. Arms onto a T shape. Good. Exhale, place your foot down. Place your arms down. And then roll it out. Good job. Good job. Okay. That's over. Don't forget about that. Come to the top of your mat in mountain pose, Tadasana. And then inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Breathe in. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back. Come into your lunge. Spin your back heel down to the floor. Bring your back toes in slightly. Okay, so your entire back foot is on the floor. Left knee is bent, drawing your left hip and your left buttock under you. And then your next inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Press your right thigh back. Sink down a little bit more to your left knee. Don't let it go past your ankle. And then again, some options is moving your left foot over to the left a little bit, giving yourself a little bit more space. You can step your back foot in a little bit. But just keep breathing. And make sure your torso is pointing towards the front. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. Press down to the big toe mound of your left foot. And exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Go one more time. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, place your hands on the frame of your left foot. Back foot comes up, so you're in your lunge. Step your left foot back to plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And from here, inhale, lift your left leg up behind you to hip height. Flex your foot, point your toes down. And then exhale, shift your weight forward, bring your knee into your chest. So your arms are in one line, knee is forward toward your chest. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, place your foot down. Good, breathe in. And then exhale, bring your knees down. Step your left foot forward, so you're back in your low-ish lunge. Left knee in line with your ankle. Tuck your back toes under, lift your right leg up. And then step your right foot to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And then exhale, step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. Drop your knees down. Come to child's pose. So knees can be together. Knees can be apart. Arms can be out in front of you or down by your sides. Forehead on the floor, on a block, on a towel, your choice. A few breaths here. Good, very slowly. Bring your arms out in front of you and slowly bring your hands back and press yourself up to sitting. Perfect. Kick your feet out in front of you. And then what I want you to do is, if you have some props, I want you to grab both of your blocks. Just have them nearby. Again, if you don't have them, it's fine. You don't need them. You're going to come down to your backs. You're going to bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. Good. And then what I want you to do is, if you do have your props, I want you to take one of those blocks, and I want you to place it between your inner thighs at the most narrow setting. Okay? So you're placing between your upper thighs, inner thighs, and you're pressing in, and think about the block rotating down towards the floor. Okay? And then take your other block in your hands between your palms like so. And you can just bend your elbows, hands are up. All right, feet are hip bone distance apart. Press down into your feet. So think about pressing your feet down. And then go ahead and straighten your arms. And then on your next inhale, you're going to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. Lift your hips up. Slowly reach your arms behind you. Good. This isn't a fast movement. So think about what's happening. Lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Don't let your arms touch the floor. So think about the block hovering about 2 inches above the floor. Good. Exhale, slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Arms come up and then down. Everything going at one time. Good. Inhale, start to tilt your tailbone up. Lift your hips up. Arms come up
reaching up and behind you as you lift your hips and chest. Good. Exhale, slowly rolling down, arms coming up at the same time, and then coming down. Good. One more time. Slowly start to lift your hips, reaching your arms up, lifting your chest up, reaching your arms behind you. Keep lengthening your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Keep pressing your thighs into your block. And then exhale, slowly roll down. One vertebrae at a time. Good. Go ahead and put your blocks off to the side. If you want to keep the block between your inner thighs, you can. So we are going to do another bridge. I would recommend that you keep the block there, but it's not required. Bring your arms down by your sides. If you don't have a block between your inner thighs, again, pretend like that block is there and you're pressing your thighs into that block. Thighs rotating down. Press down into your feet. On your next inhale, start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. Press your heels down and then slowly lift your hips up and then rolling up to your shoulders. Keep pressing your arms down into the floor. Press down into your heels and think about your heels dragging back towards your head. Keep pressing your thighs in. Lift your hips up. Press the back ribs into your front ribs. Press your arms down. Lift your chest. And breathe. You can come down at any point in time. You do not need to stay as long as I do. Go to your next exhale, slowly one vertebrae at a time, lower down. Tailbone should be the last thing to touch. Okay, bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat so your feet are wider than hip bone distance apart, and then just bring your knees into touch. Good. From here, walk your feet back in. All right, and then what I want to do is, if you have the block, again, I want you to take it, I want you to place it between your knees. Arms can go out into a T shape, palms flipped up, and then you're going to lift your feet up. So it's kind of like you're sitting in a chair with the block between your knees. And then from here, you can put your feet down for a second. You're going to move your hips to the left, and then drop your knees to the right. Block between your knees. And again, if that's too much of a twist, you can put a block underneath of your knees, put a towel under your knees, or just don't come down as far at all. You can just come here or not even do it at all. Okay. Try to get your knees to be in line with each other and your hips to be in line with each other. And then think about lengthening your torso and then drawing your left shoulder towards the floor. Slowly come to the center. Place your feet down. Adjust your hips so they're back to the center. And then you can move your hips a little bit to the right. You're going to lift your knees up, feet flex, drop your knees to the left. And you're thinking about your right shoulder going down as you lengthen and drop your knees over to the left. And I prefer to look up at the ceiling. It just keeps my neck in line and it doesn't feel as stressful. If you like to look over your opposite shoulder, which would be your right shoulder here, you can do that too. But I always prefer to just look straight up. Good. Inhale, slowly come to the center. Place your feet down, readjust your hips. You can go ahead and remove that block from between your knees. And then go ahead and grab one behind your knees and wrap yourself up to sitting. And extend your right leg out in front of you. Keep your left knee bent. Your left foot is pressing into your right thigh.
Flex your right foot. And try to get your hips in one line. So a lot of times our right hip tends to come forward. So think about drawing your right hip back. And if you need to bring your left foot down a little bit to do that, you can do that as well. The other thing you can do is sit on one of your towels. You can fold it up and sit on that. And that will give you your pelvis a tilt forward, and it kind of helps you get into a position, good position. Okay, keep your right foot flexed. Then inhale, reach your arms up. And then your exhale, you're going to twist over your right leg. And you're going to come forward and then just place your hands down to frame your right leg. All right. So I want you to focus on the muscular actions needed to move your body versus you trying to grab your foot or to pull on something to get you there. Because the point is not to grab your foot. It is to twist and to lengthen. Okay. So inhale, lengthen your torso, and then exhale, you're using your core, using your torso to twist you a little bit to the right, and then maybe you're bringing your hands a little bit further towards your feet or your foot. But you don't have to come down that far. You can be up here, and that's fine too. And you're keeping especially your lower back long and straight, but then you can go ahead and round over when you can't go forward anymore. And now slowly walk your hands back, coming up to sitting and switching sides. So extend your left leg out, right foot in, trying to keep your hips in one line. And your foot is pressing into your thigh, but if that's too much, you can always bring it lower to like your calf. Flex your left foot, and then inhale, reach your arms up. And then your exhale, you're twisting over your left leg, coming forward a little bit and just placing your hands on the frame of your left leg. Good, keep your spine long. Inhale, and then exhale, maybe walk your hands a little bit closer towards your left foot. Using your core to twist you as you come down. Try to keep your sit bones on the ground. Again, you can always sit on a folded towel. And then when you can't go anymore, you can go ahead and round over. But you don't want to round over all the way up here. So if you're up here still, just keep your spine long and lifted. Good. Inhale, slowly come up. And then bring both your feet together. And you can have a small diamond. You can have a large diamond. It's up to you. But press your feet together. Press all 10 toes together. And then hold on to your shins right above your ankles and lift your torso up. I think it just froze. Sorry. Hopefully I'm back now. Good. Inhale, lift your torso. And then exhale, come forward, keeping your spine long, keeping your sit bones on the floor. And then when you can't go forward anymore, you can go ahead and round over. Keep pressing your feet together. And then inhale, slowly come up. Take your hands behind your knees. Use your hands to press your knees up. One last thing before we go back down to our backs. We're going to come into a wide-legged stance. This is as wide as you want it to go, okay? If you feel any pain, stress, or tension, make it smaller or don't do it at all. It's okay too, all right? So a couple of things you can do here is, again, you can sit on a folded towel, just about like this. On the very edge of it, and it just helps your pelvis lift up and tilt forward to give you an anterior tilt. Flex your feet, and if you're having a difficult time doing that without your feet turning in, you can put rolled up towels or something underneath of your knees for support, or just keep your knees slightly bent. Okay, flex your feet, press your heels forward, draw your toes back towards you. Lift your torso up. And again, your stance does not have to be very wide at all. However you're feeling in this moment. Keep lifting up. Okay, so the rule is keep your toes pointing up, keep your knees pointing up, nothing caves in. Lift up, slowly walk your hands just a few inches forward. Keep lifting up, and exhale, maybe come a little bit more forward. If you're starting to feel stressed in any way, come back up, because that's okay too. Good, and then very slowly press yourself back up. Take your hands behind your knees. Use your hands to press your legs together. You can give it a little wiggle, a little shake. Good. Okay, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Slowly come back down to your backs. All right, and then from here, you can take a happy baby pose. So happy baby, you can grab onto your outer feet. You can grab behind your thighs if you can't grab your outer feet. You can grab your big toes, your inner feet, whatever feels good when you grab it, okay? So outer feet, behind your thighs, wherever you feel good. If you don't like that at all, you can place one ankle over the opposite knee, interlace your fingers behind your thigh, both feet flexed, draw your knee in, or just place your foot on the floor and stay here, okay? If you are doing happy baby, feet are parallel to the ceiling. You're pressing your sacrum down, so don't lift your tailbone up so you have like a rounded spine. Think about pressing your sacrum down and then relaxing your shoulders and then drawing your knees down. And then if you want to sway side to side, you can. If you are in thread the needle, which the figure 4, you can switch the ankle and do the other side. If you want to finish with any other stretch, now is your time to do that. Good. Go ahead and bring your feet to the floor. You can keep your feet on the floor or extend your legs all the way down. Bring your arms out to a T shape. And then from here, bring your arms up, cross them over your body, giving yourself a hug. Think about what arm is on top right now. Reach your arms up. Bring them back down to the floor, coming into your T shape. Good. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, hug yourself. Switch the arm that's on top. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring them behind you. And then grab opposite elbows. Good. Lengthen from your elbows. And then just side bend to your right. So you're on the ground, but you're side bending to your right. Inhale to the center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Good. Inhale to the center. Exhale, release your arms. Coming into Shavasana, our final rest pose. This is your time to get comfortable. Give yourself these few minutes of rest. A couple things you can do. You can use your props. You can put blocks under your knees. You can fold and roll up your towels and put them under your knees. You can take a blanket and put it on your hips, like so. Something like this. You can cover your entire body up with a blanket from your neck to your toes. That feels really good sometimes. However you want to do your Shavasana today, now is your time to get comfortable. Bring your arms down by your sides. Feet are a little bit wider than hip bone distance apart. Finding stillness in your body. Just close your eyes. Coming back to your breath, breathing normally. Allowing your fingers to naturally curl. Allowing your feet to hang open. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. Just wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. And very slowly roll over to any side and pause there for a moment. Using your top hand, slowly press yourself up to sitting. And then come to the top of your mat in any comfortable seated position you like. And then once you're there, bring your hands together to heart center and close your eyes. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and to that freedom for all. And we bow to complete our practice. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Again, it's an honor to be able to continue teaching for you all, even if it's virtually. I do miss seeing all your faces. But if I haven't even met you yet, welcome. And I'm so glad that you are here. Thursday, I will be doing a Zoom yoga class. It will be a all levels vinyasa class. This is just an opportunity for me to see you and to see your beautiful practice and to be able to practice with you kind of in person without being in person. And we're going to be doing handstands, but don't be afraid. I will give you a beginner's variation to do, and you don't have to do the actual handstand part. It's just a handstand practice, but we take it step by step and we lead you up into it. So if you are interested in joining the Zoom class, please message me, message Yoga More, and I will send you the link. So I hope to see you Thursday. I will not have a class this Saturday. I am in my last weekend of teacher training, so I will be back teaching Saturday morning classes next week. If you want to set up private yoga, I'm also starting that as well. So if you wanted to do a Zoom for your family or for your friends, just to get together virtually, we can do that too. So if that's something you're interested in, send me a message. I will give you more information. I hope you all have a great rest of the week. I miss you guys so much. Love you. Namaste.